Man, I love playoff baseball. There's no other time in sports that I enjoy more than baseball in October. We've been blessed with some incredible playoff memories since baseball's inception, but in an effort to keep this video under several hours long, I'm going to condense its scope to just the 21st century. Let's all take a trip down memory lane and reminisce on some of playoff baseball's best moments over the past 19 years. Just a reminder to everyone, I'll be streaming episode 2 of Stark Raving Matt this weekend with a special guest. We'll be talking all things baseball championship series, so you won't want to miss it. Turn on notifications so you'll know when we go live, as well as whenever we post videos here on the channel. I've also got some cool new stream features that I can't wait to show off to you guys. You'll see those in episode 2, so stay tuned for those. The 2011 World Series featured the NL West champion Texas Rangers going against the NL wildcard winner St. Louis Cardinals. The Rangers were a year off of their World Series loss to the Giants, who were in the midst of their even year run, and were looking to put those memories to bed as they had a 3-2 series lead going into Game 6, and a 7-5 lead heading into the 9th inning in St. Louis. Down to their last strike, David Freese hit a game-tying 2-run triple in the 9th inning to stun the Texas Rangers. After the Rangers took a 9-7 lead in the 10th, the Cardinals, down to their last strike again, tied it in the 10th inning on a Lance Berkman single, and Freese came back again in the 11th inning to walk it off with a homer. As good as that moment was, looking back now, I can't help but think it was stained by Joe Buck's lifeless and inexcusably horrid calls of each of the game's climactic moments.
That ball is hit in the air to left, back at the wall. It's a 2-run game.
It isn't a secret to anyone that the Mets don't make the playoffs very often. Once every blue moon, when they find a way to sneak into the playoffs, magical things seem to happen, even when they don't win the whole thing. Now, I don't think this would be included in someone else's video if I weren't the one making this, but I like the Mets, so I'm gonna include it here. In 2006, the Mets played the aforementioned Cardinals in the NLCS, a series which was down to the wire in Game 7 at Shea Stadium. With the game tied at 1 in the 6th, Cardinals third baseman Scott Rowland hit a ball that was for sure going to give the Cardinals the lead until Mets left fielder Endy Chavez made one of the best catches in postseason history. At that point, it seemed like he had saved the Mets season up until Yadier Molina broke the tie with a 2-run homer later, and Adam Wainwright struck out Carlos Beltran looking to end the game and the Mets season along with it. Regardless of how the game ended, that catch is still one of my favorite playoff moments ever. 3 big names in that game are actually relevant here today. Yadi just hit a walk-off against the Braves recently, Wainwright has thrown 2 straight gems at the time of recording this, and Beltran is looking like a favorite to land the Mets manager job. And that's great. Right, guys? Right, guys? The Chicago Cubs had to wait over a century between World Series championships, 107 seasons to be exact. Their end to a dreadful drought came at the end of a really fantastic Game 7 against the Cleveland Indians in 2016. The Cubs had found themselves down 3-1 heading into Game 5, and it looked like Cubs fans' suffering would continue, and after winning Games 5 and 6, the Cubs and Indians headed for a Game 7 and headed into the 8th inning with the Cubs up by 3. The Indians had tied it that same inning, capped off by an uber legend Rajay Davis home run against Cubs closer Aroldis Chapman.
You took an Uber all the way?
Yeah, we Ubered it. Thanks to
Did you get to know your driver? Or?
Oh, we got to know each other.
The Cubs went on to take the lead in the 10th and had won their first World Series since they had Mordecai Brown and Oval overall dealing for them in October back in the early 1900s. A truly historic moment for the sports world. Game 5 of the 2017 World Series is easily my favorite non-Mets playoff game ever. It's probably the most exciting game I've ever seen, and it's really baseball at its peak. The 2 best teams in baseball going back and forth in a high-stakes playoff game. Because of how recent the game was, I'm not going to do a full recap of it, as I'm sure most of you know how it went down, so I'm just going to do a brief box score narration as a means of showing those who don't know just how crazy the game was. It was 3-0 Dodgers, 4-0 Dodgers, 4-4, 7-4 Dodgers, 7-7, 8-7 Dodgers, 11-8 Astros, 12-12, and then the Astros eventually won it in the 10th inning. Unbelievable. At the turn of the century, the Yankees were on a roll, winners of the 98, 99, and 2000 World Series. From the first year of the 21st century, the Yankees had established similar dominance to the century prior. They were looking for their 4th straight in 2001, but ran into a bit of a wild card. The newly founded Arizona Diamondbacks. In only their 4th season in franchise history, the Arizona Diamondbacks managed to stun not only the greatest sports franchise in history, but the greatest closer and postseason reliever in baseball history in Mariano Rivera. After dominating the Yankees thanks to Curt Schilling and Randy Johnson in Arizona for the first 2 games at home, the Diamondbacks lost the next 3 in Yankee Stadium. In each game, though, they played the Yankees tough, only losing by a run in each game. The series headed back to the desert, with the home team winning again in Game 6, and that took took the series to an ultimate Game 7. The game was tight and featured a surprise appearance from Game 6 starter Randy Johnson late, who had thrown over 100 pitches the night before. It was Game 7 and manager Bob Brenly wasn't leaving anything up to chance. It proved to be the right move as eventually Johnson picked up the win in the game. Anyways, the Diamondbacks were down 2 in the 9th inning, facing the best closer in history in Mariano Rivera, and tied the game on a few gifts from the Yankees. Up stepped Luis Gonzalez with the bases loaded, and he did the unthinkable. To this day, that's still the only championship for an Arizona team in sports history. What a moment, what a series. Leave a comment down below, let me know some of your favorite baseball playoff moments from the 21st century. I'd love to hear some of the ones that you guys have to share. Anyways, that'll be it for me today. If you guys could like the video, that would help get the video out there more. It takes literally a second to leave a like on it, and it helps us out a ton, so we would be extremely grateful. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. We're going to be posting baseball even throughout the offseason, littered in with other sports as well. Thank you all so much for watching. Keep your eyes on your sub feeds for announcements about the stream this weekend, and hopefully I'll see y'all there. Thanks a ton for watching, and I'll see you guys later.
Unbelievable.